guys, I got a new video for you today, and we're going to be taking a look at a new item that I recently received to kind of check out for myself, and this is a gun safe. This is from a company called BlackSmith, and they reached out and asked if I would be interested in checking out their safes. I do have a couple other safes of my own, but I always have room to kind of grow my collection and stuff like that, so I decided to go ahead and give them a shot. They sent it out, and here it is. Now, I've actually gone ahead and unboxed it already. To the left there, you see the box that it comes in. Very minimal box. It's not too big. It's a little heavy, so it does require about 2 people to go ahead and move it around. But once you get it in, what I did is I just kind of cut the front of the safe, and then I just pulled it out, and here it is sitting in front of you. I actually wanted to start the video here so you guys can see exactly how it comes. It comes very well packaged. There's foam on the inside of the box, the top, the bottom, everything. So the safe is nice and secure in there. But it also has, as you see around the doors and stuff like that, it has a couple more pieces of foam that's holding everything in place until you go ahead and set it up. Now, it does come with everything that you're going to need in order to get it set up. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and remove all those things, and we'll take a closer look at the safe itself. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the safe here. I went ahead and removed all the packaging, so you can see it's nice and sleek. Now, this is actually my first safe that has a compartment at the top, which is separate from the complete safe itself. Again, this is a 6-gun safe. It's primarily designed for long guns, but it does have some space for a couple of handguns inside of the door, which I will show you a little bit later. It stands really nice. I do like the little accents with the rivets at the bottom there, and then at the top, and at the very top of the safe itself. You can see on the sides you do get that as well. So really awesome looking safe. Now, the first thing that I did is I removed this pouch that was actually attached to the door, and inside of the pouch you have a couple things. You do have your user manual, you have a couple set of keys. Now, what's interesting is the lock box on the top there uses a different type of key than the safe itself. So, that is something to note. And you'll see the 2 different ones there. You do need to get into the little pouch there to get the keys out, so you can go ahead and open up the lockbox at the top and remove all the packing material. And then same thing to get into the actual safe itself, because again, you haven't set any type of combination or fingerprints or anything like that. You also have this little bag with some hardware, and then you have a USB cable in there. I'll talk about what that's for a little bit later. Now, you do have a card in there as well that says, just to make sure that the first time that you go to access the doors, you pull rather hard, because again, you do have the packaging material that's holding everything in place. So it's kind of wedged in there, which is what you want, because you don't want the door to be rattling around or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take a little bit closer look. Alright, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the safe. We'll start from the top here. Now, I did want to point out that the safe is constructed of 16 gauge alloy steel, so it does feel very sturdy. Now, obviously, because there isn't anything in there, it's going to sound a little bit hollow, but it does feel nice and sturdy. So using the supply keys, I'm going to go ahead and open up the top lockbox here, and as you open it up, you're greeted with a nice wide area. It is felt lined, and obviously the felt is going to be lighter. It's like a light gray color, and I do like that because it allows you to see exactly what you have in there without having to lose anything, because it has a darker interior. So I like the fact that they went with a lighter shade of the felt in there. It's very roomy. This is perfect to put items that you want to have quicker access to. Again, I probably would not store the keys for the top here, inside of the bottom section, unless you know for sure that you're going to be able to get into the bottom section in order to get into the top. So I know some folks will do that. They'll store like the key to this separate compartment inside of the larger compartment. I probably would store it separately, but the good thing is you do get 2 keys, so you can always, maybe opt to have one inside of here. That way, if last case you do have to get in there to get up here, and then the other one somewhere, where you're going to have access to. Again, it is rather large, which is nice, but it's also very deep, which is the depth of the safe itself. So again, this is perfect for items that you want to store. Now, I know this is a gun safe, and maybe some folks might not think of this, but it's always good to have a secure area where you have different things. So up here would be a perfect spot for like important documents. Maybe if you have something that you want to get to quickly, use quite often, maybe like a passport, social security, or any other type of identification, depending on where you live. This is a good place for it. If you are the type of person that's maybe storing it like in a file, like in a filing system or in a drawer or something like that, this is going to give you a little bit more security because again, you're going to want to make sure that the safe is secure, not just from access, but also from somebody actually taking the safe with you, or with them, I should say. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how that is accomplished. All right, so moving down on the safe, you are going to be greeted with your keypad here. Now, the keypad has a lot going on for it. It has some really nice and big numbers on there, so it's going to allow you to be able to see them very easily. You also have a fingerprint reader in the center there. Now, it does come with a preset combination from the factory. Very easy to go in there and set up your own combination. It's anywhere from 3 to 8 digits that you're going to want to set. Obviously, I would recommend you setting a harder password or harder combination to get into it. But also, you have the ability to use the fingerprint reader right here, and you can actually store up to 30 different fingerprints. Now, what I normally do is I try and store like my thumb and my index finger on both of my hands. That way, if something happens, maybe I get a cut on my finger or one of them, not just relying on the one thumbprint to be able to get into the safe. Then lower portion there, you do have your keys. So if worst case scenario, you are not able to gain access via the password itself or the fingerprint, you do have that third option with the key itself. But again, I would recommend that you do not store the keys inside of here because again, if you can't get into it, you're not going to be able to have your keys. So they do give you 2 keys, just like the lockbox on the top. So, maybe have one in one location and one in another. That way, you'll always have a way of getting into the safe itself. Now, the locking mechanism here, or the dial here, does have the ability to access it. If for some reason something happens with the batteries, they die, and you're not able to access it via the pin or the fingerprint. Or if you don't have the keys either, then the USB cable that came with the instruction booklet there, that allows you to actually connect it to the side right here, and you can connect a battery back to that, and it'll give it enough power for you to be able to access the safe. All right, so let's go ahead and access the safe. As I mentioned, you have a couple of different options. The first one is going to be your fingerprint. Like I mentioned, I already have my thumb set up. So basically all you have to do is press your thumb against the fingerprint scanner right here in the middle. Now, one of the really cool things about this safe is that it indicates that it actually allows you to access the safe in 0.1 second. So very, very quickly, very quick access to the safe. Because again, if you have something stored in there that you need quick access to because you have to use it, then you want to make sure that you have access to it. So all you have to do is you go ahead and press your thumb or whatever finger you recorded on there. As you see, it says open, and then just turn it and you gain access to the safe itself. So very, very quick access into your safe. That is one of the things that really blew me away about this particular safe, is how quickly the access to the safe is. Again, once you're done, you can go ahead and close the door, turn the handle, and now it is locked. Nobody's going to be able to access that unless they have either your fingerprints or their fingerprint locked in there, or the code itself. Now, the other way of accessing is to enter the code. Now, I've actually already changed the code from the factory code, so I'll go ahead and block it while I put it in there. All right, so all you do is put your code in and press the pound key, and it tells you that it's open. Go ahead and open it up, and again, you have access to your safe right here. Now, if you do put in the code incorrectly, I believe it's about 3 times, or if you put in your fingerprint and it's not recognized about 3 times, there will be an alarm that will start going off. And I do like that feature as well, because again, it will alert you if anybody's trying to gain access into your safe without you knowing. So the alarm will actually go off for about a minute. It's not a very loud alarm, but it is loud enough for you to be able to hear that there's something going on with your safe and get to it to see what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and gain access into the safe as well. I'll go ahead and put my finger on there. It says open, turn the handle, and now I have access to the safe itself. Now there's going to be a couple different things that you're going to see here. This section right here is where your batteries are going to go. These are the batteries that are going to power your keypad on the outside of the safe. That uses 4 AA batteries. You can go ahead and put them in. It will alert you when those batteries are running low, so you can go ahead and switch them out. But again, worst case scenario, if the batteries do die, you can go ahead and use that supplied USB cable to plug it on the outside of the keypad, against a battery bank, and then gain access to that, so you can go ahead and swap out the batteries. Now, it's also telling you that there's a setting button right on the side right here. There's a green button, if you guys can see it right there. That's the button that you're going to use when you're setting up your different fingerprints or your code for the door itself. And then that way you'll be able to basically put in whatever code or fingerprint you want. As I mentioned, you can put in anywhere from a 3 to 8 digit code and up to 30 different fingerprints. Now, one of the things that I would recommend is if you have a significant other that either you live with or somebody that you trust, that you also set up their fingerprints on here. That way they'll have access to be able to get in there. You don't necessarily have to give them the code, but at least the fingerprint, they'll be able to get in there and not have to remember a code. Because again, if something were to happen to you, or if you would need for them to access the safe, then they will be able to have that ability as well. Now, let me go ahead and pull the camera back so you guys can see a little bit of a wider shot of what the safe actually looks like. All right, so taking a look at the inside of the safe, you're going to notice that you do have that gray felt lining like the top box has as well, which is really nice because it is going to give you the ability to kind of see everything that you have in there. Now, you do have these tumblers or these pins on the door. You have 5 of those, very robust, that those are going to be able to secure the safe from people getting into them. Again, it's a safe. If somebody really wants to get into it, they could, but it's going to make it a lot more difficult thanks to those rather large pins. And then again, you have 5 of those. On the top right here of the door, you have a section which is open. You can actually drop some stuff in there if you want to. This is quick grab items at the very top there. Then you do have 2 holsters that are built into the door right there. So those are going to be perfect for firearms. So that way, if you need to, have some handguns readily accessible right at the door there, you can go ahead and do that. And then let me go ahead and pan the camera down here. At the bottom there, you have an open section, as you can see right here. Now, this is what they call a section for magazines, more like rifle magazines, long gun magazines, things like that. So you can go ahead and put them there if you want to. But again, you can pretty much put whatever it is that you want into the safe here. All right, I've adjusted the camera angle here just so you can see another really cool feature of the safe. If I go ahead and put my thumb there, it's going to open it up. As I open it here, right underneath where that settings button is, there is actually a light. This is an LED light that shines into the safe. So at night, you will have some visibility into there. So if you need to get in there and it's pitch black in a room or wherever you have your safe, you're still going to have some lighting in there, even though you still could purchase individual lights for the safe if you wanted to. That's usually what I've done with some of my other safes, some lights that light up whenever the door opens. But as you saw there, the light turned off, so it only stays on for a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds. That's just enough time that if you need to gain quick access to the safe, you can go ahead and see what is inside. One other feature that I wanted to highlight is inside of the safe. So now you're looking at the back panel of the safe. You do have that felt lining, but there is actually mounting holes on the top of the safe, or on the back of the safe, I should say, that's going to allow you to mount the safe directly to the wall. Now, this is recommended because you don't want this to tip over, but especially when you start loading it up with things, you don't want the safe to tip over, but also it makes it more secure. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you want to make sure that nobody's gaining access to the safe, but also walking away with the safe, because again, it does have some heft to it, especially when you weigh it down with all the items that you're going to put in there. But if somebody really wanted to either get into it or take it with them, they definitely could. So my recommendation and the company's recommendation is that you go ahead and bolt it directly to the wall. So again, even though you do have the felt there, you will see, I don't know if you guys can see it, like right there, you see a little bit of daylight. Maybe if I put my finger behind it, you might be able to see it a little better. So it's, the actual outside of the safe is cut out, so you will be able to push through whatever bolts you're using to go ahead and secure this to the wall. All right. Another item that is included with the safe is because this is a long gun safe, you do have these separators here that are going to allow you to set it up however it is that you want to set up the inside of the safe. Now, one thing that I didn't notice is how to go ahead and set these up. I was looking through the instruction manuals or something like that. So if you guys have some experience with this safe or you've seen it before, you know, definitely comment in the comment section below how to attach these, because it does come with two sets. So that's one there, and this is the other one. So again, the idea is that you would space these out at a particular intervals, and these will hold your long guns in place as you have them inside of the safe, because you don't want them to be rattling around or moving around as you're trying to get into them and things like that. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and showcase how some of the firearms will be situated here in the 6-gun biometric safe. So starting at the very top here, you have this open shelf area. This is a perfect spot to put things like magazines, or if you want to put some ammunition or cleaning equipment or something like that, you can go ahead and do that. So let me show you, if you wanted to store some magazines, I have, you know, larger PMags here for an AR-15. You can go ahead and stack those standing up right there. You could probably fit around 3 across, or if you wanted to put them laying down, you can also put them laying down as well. Now, what I would probably do is I went ahead and repackaged everything that came in the little bag here. So it's got the keys and everything in there. And this is a perfect spot for that. As you can see, it rests rather nice in there, and it is readily accessible. So moving down, you do have the 2 handgun holsters that are attached directly to the door. So this is going to be perfect for you to be able to store some firearms that you want to have quick access to. So handguns, so something like a revolver right here. So for purposes of the video, all the handguns that I will be showcasing are safe. There's no ammunition in them. So you can go ahead and slide your revolver right in there, and it is readily accessible. Or if you wanted to go ahead and use just a regular handgun like this, you can go ahead and slide that one right on the bottom there. And again, it is readily accessible as well. And then last but not least, on the door towards the bottom there, you have that secondary shelf. As I mentioned, you could use this to store some magazines. So if you wanted to go ahead and do that, I have a couple of PMags here. So just like the shelf on the top, you can go ahead and have these standing up just like that. And you'll be able to store about 3 of those side by side. Or if you want to go ahead and lay them down, I can go ahead and stagger both of these, and they fit perfectly right in there. Those are the 30-round standard PMags, so they fit in there perfectly. Now, the larger area here, I have not set up the little blocks yet that are going to hold the firearms in place, the long guns in place, but I wanted to showcase so you can see what is what you're able to do with these. So I have a full-length shotgun here. So as you can see, that will go right in there, and you have more than enough room to be able to fit any type of long gun. That's actually a rather long gun, a full-size shotgun there. And then besides that, you also have, I have a full-size AR right here, so I can go ahead and slide that right in there as well. And as you can see, it's able to support both of those with plenty of room to spare. So again, if you have any firearms, any long guns that are this size or even smaller, you can go ahead and situate those little blocks so you can have them support the top and the bottom section of the long guns, and they're not going to be moving around, they're not going to be banging into each other, but you have direct and quick access to them. So as you can see, you can organize your firearms or your gear, again, if you want to store like your the manuals and stuff like that right there, or if you wanted to store ammunition, or if you wanted to store your magazines, you have those 2 shelves, one at the top and one at the bottom, to be able to do that. And then let's not forget that you still have the very top lockbox here that it's going to allow you to store any more of that gear that you might not want to put in the bottom section there. All right, so as you can see, the 6-gun biometric safe from BlackSmith is definitely a game changer. That pin pad gaining access into the safe itself with the biometric reader in 0.1 seconds is definitely a plus for me. Now, there's a lot of companies out there that boast quick access into their safes, but once you get to use them, you can see that they're maybe not as quick as you would think they would be. This one, they did advertise 0.1 seconds. Let me tell you, it was very, very quick to be able to read your fingerprint and gain access into the safe itself. Now, this is a great safe for somebody that's maybe starting out a collection and wants to have access to long guns and handguns. But maybe you just need a safe to store valuables. That big area at the bottom, you could set up however it is that you want, but then also you have that separate lockbox on the top. And that to me is really cool because you have quick access to it. So if you're the type of person that maybe stores other things besides firearms in your safe, you can segregate whatever is not firearms to the top and then whatever it is firearms at the bottom. But if you're going to be storing firearms, then the lockbox at the spot could be, the spot where you maybe store like ammunition or holsters or things like that. So you do have the ability to kind of set it up the way that you want it. Now, I already mentioned the fingerprint reader, how quickly it is, and that's a really awesome option. But then also, you have the fact that you can store up to 30 different fingerprints, but you can also have the PIN pad. And that passcode, it could be anywhere from 3 to 8 digits. That is really awesome as well, because again, if you have gloves on or something like that and you need to access the safe and you can't use your biometric fingerprint, then you can use that. And then last but not least is you do have the keys that you can access the safe with. And then obviously if the batteries were to die out but you still need access to your safe, you can connect that USB cord that comes with it with a battery bank, and then it'll give it enough juice to be able to put in your PIN or use your fingerprint and gain access to the safe itself. If you guys are interested, I'm going to leave a couple links in the description box below. One is going to be to the Amazon page where this safe is available. The other one is going to be to BlackSmith's website directly, where you can also purchase the safe from. I believe both of the links do have a couple discounts associated with them, so I would recommend that you check them both out and see which one works best for you. But I can tell you that if you're in the market for a gun safe, you cannot go wrong with this one, the BlackSmith 6-gun biometric gun safe, especially with that quick 0.1 second fingerprint access to the safe. So there it is. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.